In this video, I'll go about showing you a little bit about how I create some of these textures that I've been using to render within Blender. In fact, some of you might be familiar with a similar program like this because I've had similar videos posted for about a year on YouTube for geometric design. This actually started out, see this says Kid Friendly Math LLC, that's my business. It started out as a business to try and get kids motivated to learn math. I wrote all these stories and calculators and geometric design programs and paint programs and the whole 9 yards. But it really wasn't that popular, you know, kids learning math? No, that's not really the thing. So it evolves, you know, and now I'm going to do more textures on this sci-fi-animator.com website. This is the name of my file right now. I don't have any particular name for the program, but kind of give you an idea, this is a quite simple texture. I do it with this same programming language that I have built in here, and so it's more programmer friendly than artist friendly. But if you know even a tidbit of trigonometry, actually you don't even really need to know trigonometry. You just need to know about Cartesian and polar coordinates. And if you're familiar with that, then his program is really easy to use. And I can set colors in here. Like for instance, here's a range of colors that I'm using. Like give you an idea within the code here. Here's color 0. Let me just separate this out there. No, not that one. The next one. Let's see here. See, I start at color 0. This little chunk right here, and I specify the size of the brush in the X and Y direction, and I call this next method 2. When method 2 just draws a gradient ellipse and then increments the angle by 22.5 degrees, and then it returns control back to this routine here. I mean, it's a super simple programming language. I mean, super simple. And then just by changing these, and color 0 here, I can either define that in code, but right down here, let me see if I can move this up a little bit so you can see this. This is color 0. If I click on color 0, see I'm defining it to be red, green, and blue in the alpha value. And you should be familiar with this now from my previous tutorials where I was showing you the importance of learning about these values from 0 to 255. Well, so red and green at 255 and 255 turns it all yellow, and there's no blue value associated with it, and 255 on alpha makes it completely opaque. So I set the color in here. Then when I call color 0 like this, that's the color it's going to use when it draws with this particular size. Then I move on to color 1. I change the radial distance a little bit, so how far out it's going to draw. And because the other one, this first one was up at a radial distance up here at 2.4 units. Down here it's lower, so here's another little chunk of code, and it has a different size brush. So notice it's a little bit smaller in the X and Y direction, and it calls, say, method 2 16 times. It does the same thing, but I can call any of these other methods just as easily. And I could also instead just set the color within the code like this. So maybe I just come in here and I override red in here, you know, and I say red 128. Well, that's going to be the new color red when I run the script like that. So it's super flexible, and so that's why I can just wing these things out. And then notice up here, this is just a paintbrush, so this is the vector portion of it, and you're seeing a portion of the 1024 by 1024 screen that I'm drawing to, but with, you know, just a couple of lines of code, I can just instantly turn it into a 2048 by 2048. I just can't see the whole thing on the screen, but it doesn't matter. I can run the exact same code, just drawing to this larger bitmap, and then suddenly I'm generating a higher resolution texture. So it's very flexible, and that's why I'll be able to create a lot of textures and put them on the website. So, you know, this is so let me go give you an example. So I take something like this, or, you know, maybe I like this, and see I can just paint in here at the same time with whatever. I just pick colors and paint as I go, and it's like pick another color and paint, you know, or this is using a gradient of this color and the next color next to it like that. So it's very flexible. And so let me go see. So now here's an image that I did earlier. So this was pretty much just one of those type of textures with this nice cool gradient, and then what I was using it for was I added this glass effect to the scene within Blender, and I'm kind of faking it by, of course, this is actually casting a little bit of light right along the edge, but it's hard to discern what light is casting relative to the fake light that I'm generating from the magenta color as well. But that's kind of how I made this particular scene work. But therein lies the crux, is that this is kind of the extent of my art skills. I mean, I'm a math programmer guy. That's really what I like to do. I like geometric designs a lot, and I have a lot of power within my program to generate it. But I'm not the kind who can just draw some really nice human or sci-fi character, and make it really come to life. It's just not my gift. But I can help create these texture maps that might help everybody else out. And so that's really what I'm striving for at this point, because, well, I couldn't get kids to learn math, so I might as well try something else, huh? Alright, then let me see what else is in here, if I have any other images loaded up. And then, oh yeah, here's another one. It was another texture. Now this was interesting in that I made this particularly soft and even low resolution. Notice the stair stepping here, because I'm zoomed in really close on a texture, so it kind of makes it act like a low resolution texture map. But the softness here is kind of like a depth of field effect, and it makes this image appear a little bit sharper. And then there's another one in here, this one here, and here's another one. And this is, again, all this is a texture, and that's why the nice texture shows up within the glass surface here. But there's a lot of alpha values in this texture to kind of smooth that out and make that happen. So kind of just yeah, kind of gives you an idea where I'm heading and what I'm doing and how I'm able to make textures. And I can just change them on the fly. I can rerun this. I just run that right again, it'll just change it. I could just start drawing again, do something else. I could just come down here and change this color real quick. Here, I'll show you. I could just change this color. Maybe I think that red is too much red, so I'll just clear the entry and I'll make that red at 100, so suddenly it's a green, and I'll just rerun the script, and now I have a green shape color texture instead as well. Alright, well that's it for now, and I'll see you in the next video.